But this is the drafts for game number 3 here. Nongshim really trying to pull out the blows here to try and get the counters onto the Orgrin in terms of damage reduction. Trying to stop that raid boss here, but Conling, we've known, I think he's dropped one death in the past 2 games, and I don't think he's going to be looking to kind of like blemish that record anytime soon.
I'm sorry, what? 1 death in 2 games? That's crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. It is a good score here for the side of Nongshim RedForce and Conling here, putting pressure into the enemy jungle so far. Obviously, just using that zaps just to get like a multiple factor of damage here for the side of Nova.
Yeah, they already know what's going on. Nova immediately going for the initial aggression here. This is to stop Haku from using his passive, right? The release, because when you're using release and you get attacked, you stop and it goes on cooldown. So they're slowing down the jungling pace on the side of Haku, which is really smart for the side of Nova. And at the same time, Conling manages to get the taskball camp away from Nongshim. So right off the bat, in terms of jungle advantages, Haku's already losing out.
Yeah, he's already losing out, and obviously overall gold as well. They're already losing it on the side of Nongshim RedForce, able to get the Phoenix into the bot side as well, contested normally into that farm lane, but Siri just kind of just didn't have any lead with it. They didn't have the minion wave. It was all pretty much going into Nova's favor here, but they're looking to try and take away the fire beak, and they do get it onto the side of Nongshim.
Okay, that's a good response. This is where Nongshim can find the recovery, right? They may not be able to keep neck for neck, but Ratel did get the steal. If he can make it out, this should be good. There is no ultimate available for Xuan, but this is a lot of pain for Ratel. He's going to try and make life a little bit more difficult for the side of Nova.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely putting the pressure on here. Has the XP lead as well, thanks to that steal of the spike-tailed beast top side of the map there. So, once again, you're starting to see like these little kind of answers from Nongshim and these little prayers from Nongshim as well. Obviously, we did see the Universal Law being placed down there just to try and put a bit of poke damage from a distance. Maybe try and get a bit of an engage here onto the side of Nova Esports, but didn't quite come into fruition.
Well, you can start to see, you know, potential setup. Very nice setup, Nongshim.
Nongshim trying to go in for a bit of a setup here, trying to get the lockdown onto Wave Pit. Because obviously Wave Pit, if you take Wave Pit out of this one, the sustainability aspect of Nova does dwindle a little bit. It doesn't dwindle completely because they still have Wendy on the Q1.
Yes, this double heal strat is kind of irritating. Namu, though, is falling quite a bit low. I don't think they'll go for the finish here. But this is where, you know, later parts of the game, you'll start to see why Nova's draft is so scary, right? If Wave Pit is not stopped, and he gets his Destined Encounter down, his ultimate, the heals are already quite big. And then you add that on with Wendy's ultimate, the Unending Sorrow, essentially Nova members who are caught in that ulti get a double life.
Exactly here, but I mean, Ratel looking, trying to commit for this first blood of the match. He's able to get it as well. Nicely played, very well composed there, top side of the map. But the side of Nongshim RedForce, definitely the morale boost you want in this game number 3.
Yes, for sure. This is looking promising for the side of Nongshim RedForce, which is good at this state, because if you can control Xuan, then there is a high chance you are able to turn the fights. Right now, Siri doing actually pretty well on his own 1v2 against Muji and Wave Pit, but here comes the support from Namu.
Yes, Namu, level 4 as well. He does obviously the Unbridled Outburst as well, which is going to be a little bit of an irritant here for the side of Nova Esports, because you think you're going to be able to run Namu. He's procced that beast, get basically a huge shield, get the Stampede, which we know can be quite frightful into these team fights, and onto the backline as well. Speaking of which, ultimate committed onto 2 there, forcing the flash onto Wave Pit, having to use the Gorge mobilization as well. Muji is on the wrong side of that team fight. He gets taken down.
Yeah, they wanted to try something else on the side of Nova here, but this team fight is not looking good unless Illusion makes it on time.
Yeah, Illusion is here. He's a bit like not like British Transport. He's actually on time this time around, but it's going to be the fight and to just driving them away from that neutral objective. They don't want to fight without Muji around, but now here comes Xuan just trying to get the check onto Ratel, giving that intel over with the side of the rest of Nova Esports.
Okay, so this means they have to sacrifice that Tyrant. First Tyrant of the game going to the hands of Nova. And Nongshim, they're keeping pace in terms of the farm, right? The fact that Muji has been shut down for the first time in three games in total, this is looking good for Nongshim. But they have to find a worthwhile trade, and Nova is not going to allow it. Straight away, the invade coming for the Azure buff.
Yeah, looking to go for that blue buff here onto the side of Nova Esports. Ratel does get caught. Not Ratel, sorry, Namu. He doesn't have the ultimate, so that's the prime moment to take down the beast. But the Warsaint into the back line. They do trade support and mid lane. Sustainability for the side of Nova Esports does dwindle, but it's going to be a double kill for both of these teams.
Okay, but at this point, Nongshim practicing what they have been given from the side of Nova, which is to buy time and space, right? So this is a great split push coming in from the side of Siri. He's going to get the T1 on the top side. Right now, in terms of like turret taking, no towers have been taken from Nova, so this is good news for Nongshim, but only for the time being, unless Ratel is able to help do this.
Potentially here again, those basic attacks off, and then the soaring shot. Ooh, that's pretty much just like waving at you. It wants to be taken down, that T1 down to the bot side of the map, but it's only going to be a matter of time there. Muchi's going to be able to take that shot and get that one. So the trade overall is going to be that alleviating the pressure into those side lanes.
And this is what's so scary about Nova, right? Immediately, once you have an advantage across one side of the map, Nova finds a way to shut that down. It's less than, 30 seconds, and they've already traded the T1 back from the side of Nongshim.
That's what makes them such a great team, right? Like, the fact is they kind of play in a little bit of like a Nostradamus playstyle, right? They try and set up the potential trades there before even knowing the fact that Nongshim knows their next move, right? Like, obviously, they knew that Siri was going to go top side of the map to get the takedown of that T1 because Ratal's had such a good early game trade there in the laning phase of the Clash lane, but that's when the news, like, right, okay, if we can't win the Clash lane, we have to win the opposite, right? But now Ratel, he finds himself in a bit of hot water. He gets taken down there, so the Warsaint is no longer going to be charging forward, and they aren't able to get the Azure Golem up to the side of Nongshim RedForce. Nova takes that one away. Conling's going to be clutching that like his granny with the pearls.
Yep, and this is where itemization is so important for the side of Nongshim, right? They have not gotten the Doomsday for the side of Siri, but this is going to force out the ultimate at this point from the side of Wendy. Unending Sorrow going to be used. Waypit, what are you doing there?
Waypit, I mean, he's looking a little bit lost in the source, man. He's just trying to get intel, right? Like, they're looking trying to find like maybe a bit of a flank onto the back line here. Mid lane is looking pretty hairy for the side of Nongshim RedForce. That T1's looking pretty low.
Yeah, it's not looking too good at this point, and Nova should be able to get the T1 at the top side, right? At the same time, finally, Siri hits this marker that is required. He gets a Doomsday, and this is one of the reasons why it was so hard to take a team fight against Nova, because there is not enough damage coming out from the side of Siri. And with the heals coming in from both Wendy and Waypit, they absolutely need this Doomsday. Right now, it's about Nongshim. Can you buy enough time in the team fights? Do you have enough control to lock them in place so that Siri gets enough damage down?
I think the answer for that one so far is no, right? Obviously, that T2 top side of the map there looking like it's going to get taken down for the side of Nongshim. There it is, and they're contesting that the Crimson Golem and that Unbridled Outburst. Didn't catch a single Henry, and unfortunately now it's going to be Ratel maybe getting caught out there. It's going to stop. It's going to be the execution from Conling. That takedown is wild. Siri, having so little health, has to kind of form a retreat around this T1 into the mid lane.
Yep, and if you take a look at what's happening here, the heals are already coming in from the side of Nova, right? And this long, extended fight is not working out in their favor. The fact that Namu couldn't get what he wanted with the Unbridled Outburst, this cost him quite a bit. Now, it's only 8.5 minutes, and, the goalie is close to, 3,000 gold ahead for the side of Nova. This is not good news at all.
Has been defeated.
Yes, Nova's definitely got their Nova chips flying high here for the side of Nova Esports in terms of support over in the Philippines. But now it's all really, Nongshim need the support for themselves and support from some of the fans as well, right? Like, they are looking, I mean, to be fair, this game number 3, I feel like their early game's probably like the best performance they've had. I think that's all probably been aided by Ratel as well as Siri as well, with the great sort of like rotation top side of the map there. But it's just not enough for Nova, right? Nova knows and Nova reacts accordingly.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now in terms of itemization, but Nongshim, they have to try. Xuan is just here as a bait, right? Because it's going to be a worthwhile trade for the side of Nova. I don't think they have enough time on the side of Nongshim. Every marker of this is looking for a trade. T3 now for the T2. Nova need to respond now, and Nongshim, they want to try and sneak this away. Namu has to use his ultimate to stop that incoming aggression from Nova.
Yep, somebody called 911 for that T3, and they did arrive in time, but Conling's finally getting taken down. That's the first death of the game, which is going to be crucial onto the side of Nongshim RedForce, as they have 5 members still alive. Namu is going to be the first fatal onto the side of Nongshim, which is going to be their tank, their driving force, the beast onto the side of Nongshim. But that is a good Hail Mary play there by the side of Nongshim RedForce.
Yes, and that save. This is why Namu's ultimate is so important, right? And the way that they force him to make a trade, you don't want to trade a T2 for a T3. That's going to be a long pain. And at this point, Nova, the remaining members, they're going to try and stop this attempt on the Shadow Tyrant. Maybe even get a kill on Rattel. That one hurts from Muji.
Oh, absolutely. Those soaring shots definitely going to be soaring. That health bar down here, able to get that CC immunity there. He's able to kind of, if that caught him, that would have been scary. But the fact is, Nova was too looking at this prize pony, which is going to be the War Saint. They do finally get the takedown, but they do lose their T1 into the mid lane. So clearly the distraction worked here.
Okay, I like this a lot. Nongshim now has a potential chance to drag the game, which is great because the late game wise, now Illusion finally has hit past that level 15 mark. We're gonna see who he has put his sanctification on, right? The longer this game goes, in theory, Nongshim should have a stronger chance because they will be over level.
Yeah, one of their teammates are going to be over-leveled. Whether it's going to be Siri that gets that one, it would be very interesting to see here where that sanctification does fall. And obviously, we will find out in a moment's notice. But that Overlord going over to the side of Nongshim RedForce, definitely going to be able to put that pressure onto Nova Esports into their desired lane.
They found him.
Maybe even the top side as they try and take a team fight here. They did find Conling. Once again, that Stampede is so impressive. They get the shutdown onto the raid boss once again. But top side of the map was looking for a bit of a push there, but it looks like the Overlord has been placed there as well.
Okay, this is a potential turnaround from the side of Nongshim. Very smart usage. Alright, Kongling is not allowed to use his ultimate at all. He does not get the health regeneration back. And when he didn't want to use his ultimate prematurely, this is a free T3 for the side of Nongshim.
Yeah, this is the problem when you have an Nagudo on the enemy team, right? Like, that takedowns of those turrets are going to be so fast. You got to make sure that you respond quickly. And unfortunately, earlier on within the game, Nova didn't respond quick enough because they already damaged that T3 top side of the map pretty too fast for the side of Nova Esports. But now, Nova Esports base needs defended.
They definitely need to defend this. I think they have not been able to deal with the T2 takes. So right now, it is an open wound for the side of Nova on the top side. This one is, in a way, still a little bit of an advantage for them, right? Not too much pressure because that is the corresponding lane for the Shadow Overlord. Right now, Nongshim, they want to take the fight.
They want to take the fight. They want to try and get the lockdown onto Wendy here, but have to force out the ultimate. But there it is, the Unbridled Outburst. He's able to actually slow down the side of Nova, but Conling into the backline here. He's just trying to save his teammates. A bit of a misplay, I would have to say there, because now they don't have that driving force. They really are relying on Schwan here to maybe try and get the potential pick off here onto the backline. But really, all that power, all that damage is going to be coming from Muji.
It's so smart. The way that Nongshim are playing right now, they understand what the win conditions are on the side of Nova, and they don't allow it.
Oh, there it is. Martial Genius into the backline, tries to get the Magistrate, but it's that legal immunity we was talking about earlier, Ken, gets him out of a sticky situation.
Yep. Now it's a Baron base for the side of Nova here. I don't think they can end the game just yet, but for Nongshim, it's about buying time and space, right? Clear the wave so you have access to the rest of the map, because in the next, 40 seconds or more, that is where the reset of the Shadow Overlord as well as the Shadow Tyrant following closely will be available.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we can even say, like, oh, they're close to the Tempest Dragon, because they're still roughly around about 6 minutes away, right? So that's going to be one heck of a long defense here for the side of Nova Esports, but they're doing well in terms of clearing out the minion waves, obviously, until these next neutral objectives do come on point. I feel like the point here for Nova Esports is they've got to make sure that their lanes are in a healthy position, that they can actually advance out of their base and go and contest these neutral objectives.
That's true, and I mean, at this point, Nongshim has found out why Nova's lineup, the weakness of Nova's lineup. Nova actually needs to stick together pretty close, right? Wendy needs to be within range to get his ultimate down. Weipin needs to be in range as well. So everyone is grouped up together. This is where Namu really has been, playmaker of the game so far, getting those ultimates down in conjunction with Illusion as well, and Haku making sure that they stay in place for a good 2 to 3 seconds. That's long enough.
It is very much long enough, but that top side, that bot side push down to for the side of Nova Esports could be a bit of a saving grace here as they look to try and go for this Shadow Overlord here, trying to run it down pretty quickly, trying to deny the access of Haku into it. It's with that double knockup as well. Here we do have Nongshim with the ultimate. They're looking to try to get that unbridled outburst. It does catch onto Wave Pit, but it's going to be Conling into the back line with the Martial Genius. Chuan just trying to get the rundown, trying to get Haku taken down, and that smite off of the gorge. But once again, Conling finds himself between a rock and a hard place. He falls, and so does Rattel. They need to go back and tend the farm.
I don't think this matters at all. The Nongshim, this is great play. Once again, they isolate Conling. It doesn't matter if you are a strong jungle tank here. Conling is just 1v5, you don't really do that. At the same time, because of the stuns coming out by Namu as well, Siri has been left alone to get all the damage in. Now he has information. Nongshim want to go for the steal here.
Yeah, a bit of a... I don't know if I like this play here from Nova. Maybe just using the Overlord as a bit of a bait here. Trying to get Namu off of the gorge as well, because now he doesn't have the unbridled outburst. He's going to be a bit of a punching bag and actually be able to get punched off of the chains here by the side of Nova Esports. But someone's got to tend that farm down to the bot side here. Conling does come back just in the nick of time.
Okay, so there's going to be a silver lining for them, right? There is no more pressure coming from the bot side. Congling's going to be able to clear that. Now it's about the hold on this Shadow Overlord, right? We're 16 minutes in, still 4 minutes to go. This is too long for Nova. They need more time.
They do need more time, but it's going to be that Shadow Tyrant buff actually wearing off in around about 2 seconds. So that's going to be that green light go for this Shadow Overlord. And it's going to be a quick takedown as well. So once again, they are going to be at the behest of that Shadow Overlord. It's going to be the side of Nova Esports as they defend their base. We have 2 minion waves already approaching pretty fastly here for the side of Nongshim.
All right, we'll see. This might be the final call here. They can't be too greedy. Nova, this is the time. They can really turn things around.
Yeah, they've really got to play a really good defense, get rid of these minion waves, wait for the Shadow Vanguards, but they've also got to play to a timer, right? Obviously, Namu now has an ulti, when we've seen time and time again within this game number 3 where Nova just tried to get the dunk onto Namu when he doesn't have that unbridled outburst.
Yeah, this is not ideal, right? They have waited a little bit too long. 3 waves at the same time. Nova need to figure something else up. The stuns do come in, but for now, Nongshim still waiting for that final call. Oh, nice.
Oh, unbridled outburst does catch onto the minion wave there, but actually doesn't catch onto any members on the side of Nova Esports, which is going to be a bit of a situation of the Nongshim RedForce right now. One have a bit who has to force himself. Rattel's onto the back line here, tries to get the dunk onto Conling. It's going to be the Magistrate here. Siri gets the takedown. There is a Vanguard there. They're trying to do the damage, and Nongshim do it. They make Nova bleed.
Yup, they make them bleed. That was a nice cut. It's a little bit of a scratch. For now, Nongshim managed to put a blemish onto Nova's record here. You don't get the 3-0. It's going to be 2-1 at this point, and the Nongshim fans are happy. And I think they deserve to be. That was a great recovery from Nongshim, but the road is still far away.